we're having this webinar tonight is so that you understand completely how important it is to have a close partnership with the importer of record to whom you're selling the goods. These regulations have a very high price tag for non-compliance. In fact, there are 4 reasons why the importer of record, your customer, might be fined. The first is a failure to submit the ISF. Now, for many of you, if you're in partnership and you are providing information to the importer of record, it's very important that you provide this information accurately, but also in a timely fashion. And the requirement is for this filing to be done 24 hours prior to the loading of the vessel. And we understand that this is quite a departure from how things have been done for many, many years. And so one of the things that's important to understand is that now Customs is looking for this information much earlier than you've ever had to provide it before. So the regulation states that you need to get this information with the bill of lading so that the importer of record here in the United States can file this ISF 24 hours prior to loading of the vessel. So the first is if you don't file at all, it's a $5,000 penalty, and the importer of record could also be subject to those goods being seized and put in a customs warehouse in the United States. Not a very good outcome. The second reason they might be filed is for late submission, and we talked a little bit about this already as well. Again, this filing needs to occur 24 hours prior to the loading of the vessel, or the importer of record could be subject to a $5,000 fine. Customs also understands that information changes. Perhaps all the tariff codes or product don't make the ship, and perhaps you find out about this after the ship has sailed. That's okay. If information changes, you must immediately give that information to the importer of record in the United States so that they can update their ISF. If that information is not acted upon and they fail to update through a customs audit, this is found to be incorrect information, then that could be subject to a $5,000 fine as well. Also, if for some reason the goods or containers get rolled from the ship and they are no longer traveling under that bill of lading to the United States, then the importer of record is expected to withdraw or delete that ISF. So providing him with that information is important as well. And again, these penalties are quite severe, and the importer of record, your customer, could be assessed a $5,000 fine per transmission up to $10,000 per ISF. Here's a brief overview once again on noncompliance. $5,000 in penalties. Goods could be seized or held up in transit. This, of course, could adversely affect your relationship with the importer of record here, but it also could result in a bad relationship of the importer of record with U.S. Customs. This could result in increased delays and exams of his goods. Once again, none of these is a good outcome. Here are some important dates to understand as far as compliance is concerned with 10+2 ISF. Right now, we'll give you some good news. We're in a period of what's called flexible enforcement. This ISF regulation went into effect in January of this year, and for the next 1-year period, no fines and penalties are going to be assessed to the importer of record. What Customs has said is they want the U.S. importer of record to begin to understand how they can get this information so that they can effectively file the ISF. So for that 1-year period and through January 26 of 2010, no fines or penalties will be assessed. This allows you time to assist the importer of record here in the United States with their policies and procedures to obtain the correct data to file that ISF on time and accurately. So right now, there's no fines and penalties. It's a great time to work that partnership out. And in fact, what we're hoping you'll realize is that it's a very effective competitive advantage for you to be able to assist any importer of record that you're working with now or may work with in the future by simply telling them that you do understand the new U.S. ISF regulation and that you have policies and procedures in place to help them be compliant. If you do that, you're going to be ahead of 95% of the other vendors and manufacturers that are out there today, and hopefully that'll result in you getting more business long term as well. Now, there are a number of steps that U.S. importers have begun to take, and some of you may already have realized or been a part of some of these agreements. Many U.S. importers are starting to amend their purchase orders or other contractual agreements so that you might have to participate in any of the fines and penalties that are assessed if you don't assist in providing the information in a timely and accurate fashion. Other U.S. importers are adding conditions to financial instruments like letters of credit, and they've also been coordinating the activities with their ocean carriers, NVOs, and freight forwarders. And one of the things that U.S. Customs has had a very open program in doing is talking with carriers and freight forwarders about the importance of ISF, and we believe now more than ever you are able to obtain the bill of lading in many cases at the booking. So hopefully, if you're not aware that some of these new things have taken place, you'll be able to talk to the freight forwarder you're working with on behalf of your U.S. importer and be able to provide them with this information at booking. If you can do that, you're going to be very helpful in helping them get this information in on time. Hopefully, you've already had some meetings with your U.S. importer of record on the importance of getting this information. And there are many carrier representatives and other vendors out there that you can assist in putting together a program to get all of the 10 items together in order to help the U.S. importer not be subject to penalties. It's very important, once again, to understand that your importer needs this information probably 48 hours prior to the vessel lading. In fact, if you put that in place, then you're going to be giving them plenty of time to get the information and get it filed on time. If you'd like to look at some additional resources to research further about 10+2 and the final rule, you can go to www.cbp.gov and you'll be able to see all of the regulations as currently written and perhaps get some of the information that other people in your company may need to better understand ISF. In addition to that, each of you will receive an email of today's presentation, and we will also be posting it on our website so you'll be able to view it at your convenience into the future. Today's presentation was also put into Mandarin. We will be also translating it into both Spanish and Hindi for the future. So the good news is that's all you need to know about ISF, but it's a very important group of data that your customer is looking for. And if you can help him provide it, then you're going to go a long way to establishing and maintaining a very close relationship with him for a long time to come, and perhaps establishing new important relationships with new customers of U.S. importers into the future. So at this time, we'd like to open it up for any questions that you may have on the U.S.